The first thing we'll do today is we'll stop putting all our styles in the head and start using external style sheets. To do that, we need to have another file that will serve as our external CSS file. And so I'm going to go to the left where my index files are both listed, and I'm going to right-click somewhere nearby and say New File. And I'm going to call it style.css and hit Enter. This makes a blank file inside that same folder as the index files. So if you were to look at your files on disk, you would see it appear here alongside your other files. Okay, so all the styles that you previously had inside the style block in the head will go instead in this external file. This external file is actually a different kind of file. It has a .css extension, so it's not HTML. Because it's not HTML, I'm not going to take the style tags with me. I'm just going to cut, switch to the CSS sheet, and paste, and save. If I beautify, hopefully this will look better. Yes. So brackets will do some indenting for me, and I'll save again. So how do we connect this new style file to the index page? Well, there's a tag for that. It's called link. And there's two parts to the link. There's two attributes on the link tag that are important. So that the name of the tag is link, which is going to link these two files together. And the relationship is the rel attribute, which says it's a style sheet. This just tells the browser, this is why I'm linking this file, is because it's a style sheet. You used to have to put a type attribute. You no longer have to do it. So now all I have to do is say where I can find that style sheet so the browser can go look for it. And this is looks a lot like the A tag. Its attribute is also named href. Thank you, brackets. And complete my link. Link is another example of an empty tag. There is no /link closing tag. You just have the single tag, and that is enough to link those files together. So if I've done this correctly, I now have just one link tag in the head. I have all of my styles in a separate file called style.css. And now if I refresh in the browser, I should see no change visually. Refresh. Looks identical. Just for fun, let me take a look at that other version of the index page that I have in here, the French version, index_fr. So this is the same file as the one we've been working in. It's just that it happens to be in French rather than in English. Okay, so I would like this to look the same. Couldn't be easier. Now that I have separated my styles out, all I have to do is link that same file in the head. In fact, I'm going to just copy. No, I'm going to retype it again just for learning to memorize this tag. In fact, pause the video if you want and see if you can remember how to link this. Using the link tag, relationship is style sheet. href is style.css. Close it up. Save. Head to the browser and refresh. And there you have it. Beautiful. Just instantaneous. The other good thing about this is that now I don't have two places to edit. So if I had put all of my styles in the head of this document also, and then I wanted to make changes to both of these files, I would have to go in and change it in two places. Now, both of these files include this third file. If I want to make changes, I just have to do it once here, and it gets picked up magically by both pages. This is the beauty of the external style sheets. So one more thing I will say about external style sheets before we start editing in the CSS file is there are certain rules in CSS that govern which style wins. So, and I'm just going to type a couple notes up here at the top. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And the cascading part of Cascading Style Sheets is how styles sort of work together and override each other as the browser finds them in different places. So the rules for cascading are Number 1, the browser applies rules in the external style sheet. There might be more than one external style sheet, so I'll put external style sheets. Okay. In the order they are loaded, which is top to bottom from the HTML source. Top to bottom in the HTML source. We'll see an example of this in a moment. So number 2 is then the browser applies rules in the style tag. So if you have something that is, if you have 2 rules, one in the external style sheet and one in the style block in the head, and they are conflicting, like they're trying to do different kinds of styling, the one in the style tag will win. Then the browser applies inline styles, which are styles that are in the style attribute on the tag. So an example of this would be something like p style equals color yellow. So in this case, if I had a color going on, so if I'm talking about styling P's, if I had a color going on in the external style sheet, that would get overridden by a color that was specified on the P in the style tag, and then this attribute overrides everything else. So if you have a color set on this P tag, it can only ever be yellow because it's always going to override all other colors. Okay, so that's just some notes for you. In the next video, we'll look at what's called a reset style sheet and how it plays with your external style sheets.